King James has been an institution in and of himself for over 2 decades now, and it's safe to say he doesn't put his weight behind a player lightly. Over the years, LeBron has been a vocal proponent of certain rookies by pointing out their potential way before anyone else realized what they were capable of. Perhaps the best example of this right now is Austin Reaves, and let me tell you, the kid must be over the moon to have such a legendary supporter when he's just starting out. But who exactly is Austin Reaves, and why does LeBron think so highly of him? Well, for starters, he grew up watching the Lakers, which means that he saw LeBron on the court ever since he was a little kid. In fact, King James is probably a big part of the reason Austin decided to take up basketball in the first place. The kid grew up seeing LeBron's theatrics and dreamed of joining the Lakers himself someday, and little did he know that dream would come true by 2021. Now, Reaves obviously didn't immediately get into the big leagues. He had to work his way up through the ranks, and he started playing for Cedar Ridge High School. He became the team's biggest star, scoring a mind-boggling 73 points to clinch a win against Forest City and averaging 32.5 points per game in his senior year. Such a solid showing made it inevitable that he receive a free ride at college, and sure enough, South Dakota, Arkansas, and Wichita State universities all tried to scout him. He decided to go with Wichita, but his bright career almost ended prematurely when he suffered 3 consecutive shoulder dislocations. It turns out the guy was so obsessed with basketball that he played with a torn shoulder muscle for years, and he had to get surgery done to repair the damage. As a result, he spent most of his freshman season on the bench and averaged just 4.1 points per game, but thankfully, he took some time to get the medical help he needed. Following that, he came back and scored 23 points against Tulsa, including 7 3-pointers. That's the most 3-pointers in half the history of the program. And by the end of his sophomore year, Reaves was averaging 8.1 points and 3.1 rebounds per game, and over 42% of his shots came from behind the arc. He followed this up by transferring to Oklahoma, where he gave his career best performance during a tight 78-76 win against TCU that saw him score a whopping 41 points. Clearly, the kid was destined for greatness, and soon he decided to take the plunge. On March 31st, 2020, he dropped out of college and tried to join the NBA. This was a pretty bold move, especially when you consider that Reaves went undrafted for the 2021 season. He had a shot at joining the Detroit Pistons, potentially becoming their 42nd pick in the process, but instead, he held out hope that he could join the one team that he couldn't stop thinking about, the Los Angeles Lakers. Luckily, he had a path into the coveted team, but he had to settle for a 2-way contract that offered less stable income since his salary depended on the league he'd participate in. This contract was signed on August 3rd, 2021, over a year after he left college behind. But a few weeks later, he got bumped up to a standard contract, although it bears mentioning that he's still an undrafted free agent. Regardless, this was the signing that led to his eventual debut, and what a debut it was. The Lakers lost to the Suns in his first match, but Reaves showed that he wasn't messing around when he was called off the bench and scored 8 points. It's a bit of a shame that he started out with a loss, but his individual performance clearly displayed his chops, and it also put him on LeBron's radar. The Lakers were going up against the Dallas Mavericks on December 15th, and they were tied 104-104. With literally 1 second to go before the clock ran out. That's when Reaves got the ball and tossed it into the basket from behind the arc, sealing a storybook victory for the Lakers and cementing his place as a rookie to keep an eye on. He scored a total of 15 points in that game and proved he was a team player too by grabbing 7 rebounds. Needless to say, LeBron was super impressed by his showing. He'd come up as a golden rookie that everyone had an eye on, and Reaves isn't getting the same level of renown at this stage of his career, but that still doesn't change the fact that King James sees a bit of himself in the surprise star from Arkansas. He specifically mentioned Reaves in the post-game interview, referring to him by his nickname AR-15, and said how proud he was of the new Lakers addition. Despite playing as a free agent, Reaves was finally finding a place for himself in his favorite team, and is really starting to seem like a fairy tale, especially when he got his first triple-double. It's a clear marker of a player's skill, and he recorded it against the Denver Nuggets in the last game of the season. Reaves was on the court for all of 42 minutes, and he scored 31 points during that time, not to mention 10 assists and 16 rebounds. This was a true all-around performance, and it showed just how eager Reaves was to give the game his all and mesh with the Lakers to help the whole team pull through time and time again. The Lakers ended up winning that game 146-141, and in July 2023, Reaves received a $54 million contract that would secure his place on the side for 4 more years. That said, he had a relatively poor start to the 2022-2023 season, and it seemed like LeBron's praise and the lucrative contract were both a tad premature. I'm not saying he played badly, all I'm saying is that the unlikely hero of the previous season was nowhere to be seen. That might have been because he was tired after spending the summer playing for Team USA at the World Cup. Even so, fans started to wonder if Reaves really had what it took to stay at the Lakers, but AR-15 blocked out all the noise and proved the naysayers wrong once and for all that December. Thanks to Austin's steady hand in the shooting guard position, the Lakers won the first ever in-season tournament. The championship game pitted LeBron and his team against the Indiana Pacers, who'd come out on top in the Eastern Conference and looked positively deadly in the lead-up. Most pundits agreed that the Pacers had the best offense in the league, and they decimated all the other top teams in the Eastern Conference to make their way to the finals. While Anthony Davis was technically the star of the show that night, Reaves was no slouch as he made a 28-point impact as he came off the bench. He helped the team keep the pressure on their rivals, and in the end, he made it absolutely clear that he was here to stay. So, at the risk of jumping the gun a bit, Reaves is certainly one to watch as he gains more experience. He's still undrafted, but something tells me he'll stick with his favorite team for as long as possible. It's not every day that you get to play for a team you love since childhood, let alone get praised by the man that's defined the team for a whole generation. Reaves has a long way to go, but one thing's for sure, and that's that LeBron has been right about AR-15 all along. And if this boy from Arkansas is this good at such an early stage of his career, one can only imagine what he'll achieve down the line. So, what do you think? Is Reaves really everything he's cracked up to be, or is he just standing on the shoulders of giants? Let us know in the comments below, and remember to subscribe while you're at it. That's all for now. See you in the next one.